For this video, I'm using the LK Chen Shuang Dao. It's based off of the New Way Dao design in an antique pair from the Qing dynasty. You can find out more information at lkchensword.com. Check it out in the link in the description down below. Hey, what's up? It's Sifu Kuttel, and in this video, we're going to be working on some techniques for the double broadsword, or Seung Dao. Now, this is going to be a very basic, foundational video, and this is something I think you should absolutely start with when it comes to any kind of dual wielding. One of the most important parts that you need to learn when you're working with double weapons is how to maneuver around the weapons. You don't want to get tangled up on your own weapon, and you definitely don't want to injure yourself on your own weapon. This should be an asset. It should not be a danger to you. And one of the ways that we get familiar with it is practicing single sword techniques in relation to our front hand or our other sword. So basically we're looking at this as this positioning of your front hand, whether it be a vertical position or a horizontal position. This front blade is in this position either from an attack or a defense or a neutral position. So if we're starting from just a guard and then we're moving in with an attack, if for some reason we blocked and then now we're going to move in for an attack, or our opponent moved our blade and we're going to move in for an attack, or on an attacking side, if I already lead in with one attack and I'm going to follow up with another. So this is a great way to get familiar with the blades, and we're going to practice in a couple different articulations with the front blade, being from vertical position, horizontal position, which allows us to move both over and under, as well as an upward raised guard position, which you can think of as almost like a blocking or lifting technique to start us off. But you'll see as we get to work, and you'll see how this goes. And the best way to work on this is first use your dominant hand as the rear hand. Our front hand is going to be our non-dominant hand, because this one we're going to practice moving around and doing different techniques. Once you're comfortable with that, switch hands, because you have to be ambidextrous when it comes to double weapons, and you have to be able to maneuver your other sword around an obstacle, and especially just kind of get used to that spatial awareness and know where things are without having to just look and think about it as you're doing the cuts. You'll see as we do it. Take your time on this and really take the time to master it, but let's go get to work. Now, our first technique is going to be from our neutral guard position. I have my front blade providing an obstacle between my opponent and myself. So I'm using this to set up my distance. Now, we're going to maintain staying within the inside of the other blade. So I'm not going to try to cross the blade at any time. I'm just going to remain within this area here. And the nice way to look at it is we're going to just look at vertical techniques, either striking downward or upward. Even within that, I still have a vertical position where I'm going to push forward. So from our very neutral position, I can attack straight forward to try to chop in forward at my opponent. Of course, this gets pretty close to the same distance as my other blade, so I can use that as a measure right here, as well as cutting all the way through. So I can cut all the way through my opponent's guard, or I can come upward and attack. Again, I have my upward attack right here. Now, in combination, I may find my blade back, or if I'm starting at more of an extended guard, I have opportunities as well, but I would use these to step all the way through. So rather than just trying to maintain the same position or with half-stepping motions with my front foot, I'll take that back foot all the way forward and cut, or bring it all the way up and cut. But we're still working within this range right here. So no matter how you step and move up and down, you have the opportunity to just stay right next to this blade, which is providing you some coverage from your opponent. Now we can apply these same ideas of techniques moving vertically, but on the outside of our other blade. So now my blade has crossed the body, and I'm finding my cutting attacks are going to be on the opposite side. So whenever you find yourself crossed up, this is that same idea. Now, I'm not saying you should naturally just go to this side, but depending on our whatever position that is leading us here, to where our front blade has crossed, whether it be an attack, and then I find my opportunity to attack over, or even a parry or a block, or my opponent pushes it out of the way, I can now attack as well vertically. So from this position, again, coming across, right here, I can hit forward, I can chop down and up, and I can move in as I do this. Now we're going to change the position of our front blade to keep it horizontal. Now this could be from, again, a lead-in attack, or it could be from a defensive posture. It could even be from my opponent pushing my blade down. So whether I'm pushing their blade down, they're pushing my blade down, this area has now opened up and I have full scope to move over the top. So we're going to find lots of options here. Again, we can keep it vertical, but I do encourage you to practice with a little bit more of an extended guard, because this is a great way to jam up the opponent, especially if they have a single weapon. We can work with a little more contact with the blade. We don't necessarily have to think of a deflect and then counter right away. We can use this just to jam and create that obstacle. So get used to keeping this hand flat, staying in front, and attacking down and up. Now, of course, once we move closer to this blade, we have a lot more range to travel down and up, which means more cutting power. But we still have the availability to keep an extended guard, tap straight over the top, cut downward, or bring it back up. Now again, from our horizontal blade in the front, we have the opportunity to really clear across. This is something that was unavailable if we had a blade forward. We would move and tie up on that front blade. So now that this blade is moved down, we have the opportunity to slice across horizontally, attacking towards the head, towards the arms, towards the chest, towards the wrists. If they're holding the weapon, we can be attacking towards the hand, and we can even go around the head in either direction as we do this. Now, one of our last things that we can do when we have a horizontal blade forward is we can attack in diagonals. Now, when it comes to attacking in diagonals, you have to make sure that you don't bring your hand below your other blade, but we still have opportunities to chop in towards the neck, towards the collarbone, towards the shoulders, and the hands. So you can still keep this blade forward and then attack from either side, moving more diagonally here, going around the head, and then cutting from either side if you want, or just continually moving in and hammering forward. Now, not every position has to be over the blade. If we're using this to jam in towards the front, we're using this to jam up towards the top of our opponent, we now have the opportunity as well to cut down and under the legs. So here we have a nice swinging motion. We can come back and forth, or we can wrap around and then move into another press position and then change to attacking over the blade. So we have a lot of opportunity here to attack both above and below the blade. Now for our final position, we can take our horizontal blade and raise it up. This is mostly considered for a defensive technique, but it depends on how you're using it. It doesn't necessarily have to be used as a block. We can use this to push in towards our opponent and then attack underneath. We can use this to raise up an opponent's weapon, depending on what they have, to clear some space. And then from here, we have a lot of free range. So we can attack low and diagonal, we can attack horizontal, and then vertically, it's better to just come upward from this position. It also helps in that lifting position. We can lift up and then cut afterward. If you're going to try to cut vertically downward, you would have to move the blade afterward. Still a possibility, but it's not one that we would consider combined as just a single blade technique. So again, from here, once I press up, I have the opportunity to clear underneath and attack below.
Okay, so there you have it. As you can see, this is very straightforward. We have an individual front hand position, and then we have a very methodical approach to this. So, like I said, the next thing to do is to go back and practice all of these instead of having your non-dominant hand in front and then working around it. put your dominant hand in front and then work with your non-dominant hand to practice all of those cuts. When you're using two weapons, even if you will primarily use one as a blocking or a shield weapon in combat, you still should practice both sides to develop more dexterity and coordination, because when it comes to an opponent that's going to try to trap or manipulate one of your blades, you have to be able to move the other one around it. So take your time, go back through all of the techniques and practice them on the opposite side. And then a next step from there is to change and do combinations. So it's not just, oh, my sword is vertical, I'm only going to do up and down, or I'm only going to strike downward. Now you can practice down and up, moving sideways, cutting out. Even if it's not the most optimal position, learn how to move around your blade and then change position and work around it as well. And you can get into some really nice combinations and you can get a better feel for the weapon. But again, just keep it simple. Think of it as single sword techniques. We're only using that back sword and we're moving around our front sword. I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next.